through this thing, right? Okay, so before you're going to do what?
We're live.
We're live. Okay, all right. So if you want to build muscle, you have to do aminos. Not protein, aminos. But there are guys and there are people that will do animal protein, and guess what? They're big like animals. I want to be a lean, keen, toned machine. That's what I want to be. I don't want to be bulk muscle, because bulk muscle never stays. Never stays. As soon as you stop working out, it goes away. Guess what? Toned muscle always stays. If you want to get your kids to be toned and in great shape, you send them to what? Swimming and gymnastics. That's what you do. It's all muscle memory, okay? Sage isn't working out, but he's in great shape. He's in great shape. So that's what you want to do. And you know, you can lift heavier weights, but you want to lift something that's going to stress your muscles, but not tear them too much, okay? When you're younger, you can lift heavy weights, and you can be really sore the next morning, but you recuperate fast. So when you're older and you're still doing the same heavy weightlifting program, you're tearing and you're not repairing. You're just creating scar tissue, right? Look at this. Oh, I can tell you just went to work out. Absolutely. Boy, I'm feeling great. Okay? All right, so understand that's it. And that person is going to be so crippled when they're older. Remember, if you could have tone and flexibility, what's that called? It's called youth. It's called youth. I'm flexible. Bam! I'm flexible. I can go put my body into any movement. Well, not any, not pretzel boy. But the reality is I can go there just as easy as somebody in their 20s. And that's the rule. And that's why I told you, most of you that are taking the non-surgical, you are going to struggle. Because you are the average healthy person, which isn't healthy. You cannot live on this planet and then compare yourself with anybody on this planet. Let me tell you something. If you are 60 years old, you compare yourself to the average healthy 30-year-old, and that's where we should have been. How many people know that every 5 to 7 years they go and they do a stats thing, and what they go is go, whoa, look at this. The average 50-year-old has inflamed prostate. The average woman has cysts on her ovaries. She's going through this problem, this problem. And so then they have this list of what the majority of the population of that age is going through. And you go to the doctor and he goes, whoa, you're doing good for your age. What a moron. What a moron. Seriously, don't even think about it. It's not a doctor. It's not a doctor. A doctor teaches. A doctor doesn't read off a piece of paper that some petroleum company went and did a stat. Hey, listen, for your age, you know what? This pain, this inflammation, this stiffness, okay? This problem that you're having, everybody's getting it. So you're going to have to move to this medication. Everything is to take you into medication, not information, not education, okay, not rejuvenation, medication. Because guess what? These doctors have no brains. They have no brains. They've been reprogrammed. Seriously? Come on. You want to call that guy a doctor and all he does is he gives petroleum products all day. He works for Esso. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. I will have anybody want to challenge me in the medical field any day, because you cannot beat logic. You cannot beat nature. And what's natural is not normal today. Guys, let me get back on top, on track here. Sean brought me live too soon, too fast. Okay? I wasn't ready to come back live. Okay? So listen to me. What did I call this? What we're going to do, everybody, is I want to talk about what I believe, and guess what? I'm absolutely wrong. Okay, so everybody, Don't throw tomatoes. I'm absolutely wrong, but guess what? I love my new story. My new story is putting logic in my mind so that I can be okay with everything. I need to be okay with everything because I can't change anything except myself. Why will the psycho-elite always be in control? What was the actual, what did I call this? What did I call this one? Sean?
This is why the evil elite are in charge.
Why are the evil elite in charge? Because they're not in charge. They're not in charge. They work for another entity. I don't want to get into that. Not touching it with a 10-foot pole. But why are they in charge? Okay, I'm going to tell you this, and then I want you to tell me at the end if that wasn't the correct answer. Because their job is to stop. I want to hear somebody. Come on. Stop what? Stop what? No, not healing. No, not living. No, none of that. No. Okay, we got to stop. These are good answers, but not the right one. They're here to stop enlightenment. That's all. Nothing else. Enlightenment. They're here to stop enlightenment. They're here to dumb you down to a vegetable.
They're here to give enlightenment.
Well, they're here to give enlightenment. Yes, that's true, but now you went and jumped way ahead. Now we got them confused. Okay, so I'll answer it a little bit, but you took that from yesterday and you shouldn't have done that.
I've known it all.
Okay, so they're here to actually poison the world, poison you, to have you rise up and say no more. It doesn't seem to be working. Because really, enlightenment comes with a challenge, doesn't it? It comes with a struggle. But everybody's going to struggle, but we might as well struggle towards enlightenment instead of just stay in the darkness, because you're always going to struggle there. You're going to be tripping over everything. Let me just say this. Did you ever notice something? All human beings do is complain. They just complain. I am no better, no less than anybody else, but I let my message be heard. Don't mess with me. I believe in unconditional self-love and self-care, and if you don't come into my field. Government officials do not mess with me because they know that they're not official. They already know they're not official. You don't know you're official. You don't know the law. You don't know that you are beautiful, that you are everything when you become that. Look at, why is there, you all allow it, why is there a corner store on every corner?
To poison us.
To poison us, that's right. But guess, it's not to poison us, it was to challenge you. Wrong answer. It wasn't to poison you. It was to challenge you. Can you stay away from the convenience store? Can you stop sending your children there? Hey, sweetie, want a sweetie? Okay, so we know that every corner store is to help you rot out your teeth and your mind. And if we can rot your teeth, then we can put silver fillings in, and silver fillings are 49% mercury. So now we can totally shut down your pineal gland, which helps to bring in your higher consciousness. And we'll also do it by using fluoride in the water that has never been proven to actually harden teeth. One study that was a lie, and money drove it through everywhere. The Dental Association murders more people, I think, than the Medical Association. They're murderers. I don't really care. So what? If you're a dentist and you're not biologic yet, and you're still doing this stuff, and you're putting fluoride in people's mouths, and you're putting mercury in their mouths, shame on you. Shame on you. You murder your children, you murder your family. Shame on you. Anyways, so think about it. The medical association is not into health. The dental association isn't into health. The food corporations are not into health. And guess what? What do? You go and do this stuff anyways. Your money decides where the world's going. If people are buying these things, but if nobody went to a corner store, would they close? If nobody bought the things on the shelf that were poisoning human beings, would they stop it? That would be enlightenment. We can't even get enlightened to the part that we will avoid a corner store. We can't even be enlightened to the point that we will actually put a structure unit on the shower head so that we don't take in the chlorine and fluoride. Well, everybody else is doing it. What a moronic thing to think. What a moronic thing. And listen, we are morons. When you have a moronic belief, it makes you into a moron. It dumbs you down. I'm not looking for enemies, but I'm also not searching for friends. I need heroes. I need leaders. I need people that go, you know what? He tells it hard, but he tells it truthful, and he's trying to do something. I don't do this for the money, but yes, we make money, but the problem is guess what? I do it for enlightenment. I want out of this game. I'm not coming back here continually. My God, this is like psycho. The world has ended 5 times. That doesn't mean that all human life was gone. It meant that most of the population was devastated, dead. That's what that means. It didn't start from nothing. There was still people left. What do you think they want right now? You know, everybody thinks, okay, that they're going to win. They're not going to win with people who want to become leaders, people that take a stand. I said this before and people don't like it, but you know what? It's like this. The bad bacteria that you have in your body, you created them. We created the psycho-elite. The government you have is the government that is the majority of the population. They sold us a BS story, okay, all right, that there's a savior coming. There's 2 major ones right now I hear about all the time, so I don't want to mention them. And neither one of them are coming. You show me that one of them come, and I'll give that person $1 million. You show me that they come and they save this place. The deal is nobody was going to save you, not your mommy, not your daddy, no one. We were all adulterated from 0 to 7, okay, with all of these toxic programs, and then it was, can you be enlightened and become even more than you were when you got here? That's it. And whatever you put out to the universe, you're going to get more of it. It's just a game. So let's put it this way. I want to show you the domino effect of why you're going to have a crappy life. You're going to suffer for the last 10 to 15 years of it. And guess what? You actually think that when you get these tight little hips when you're older, what the hell is that? What is that? What's this? The cane. I can come up to a person and go, you do know that if you were to just put that cane aside and you're lie down on your side, I could work on you for 10 minutes and you wouldn't be limping. Get away from me. Understand something. Everything starts off in the psychological before it goes to the biological. That person was already limping on an emotional level. Are you guys out of your skull? You go from the cane to the walker to the wheelchair. Okay, and what about the depends? And what about 49% of all women? 49% of all women are dripping into their panty liner because they're pooping into their pelvis. Why is it you go to Costco and there's a whole row of depends? Because they know that you're going to crap your drawers. And you know why? Because you got root rot. But you're a rotten, here, you had rotten thinking beliefs first, but they weren't yours, and it's not your fault. But guess what? After you listen to this today, it is. It is. You gonna be okay, Rebecca? Okay, let's start this show. Okay, so we know, and I'm going to repeat it, make it short, I'm not going to go into it deep. We know that everybody has an imagination. It's just that now you have a contaminated one. They're coming for us, honey. They're coming for us. Okay? This is the end of the world. We got to do what they say. Okay? So now they have control of, I'd say, without exaggerating, they have control of 97, 98% of the whole population in the world. Now, even the people that aren't doing the V, even the people that don't believe in the C, okay, they're not free, because they're not free here. You know, people don't believe this, and this isn't a challenge, because I need people to challenge me. But I don't have fear. I don't have fear. I got this. 3, 2, 1, I got this. I got this. No matter what it is, how big or how small, I got this. I'll stay connected to my lion heart breathing, put a slight smile on my face, because I know if I don't. The last time I slid was 4 years ago. I got a call. My closest relative, Uncle Don, loved him, cherished him. He passed away. Passed away, prostate cancer. Came to me, we got rid of it. Went back to the woman he lives with, who doesn't believe in anything I do. And I'm not saying that she caused it. I'm trying to tell you, beliefs are everything. When that happened, it's the funniest thing how you get tested. My daughter was visiting me, and she smokes. Without thinking, because I was traumatized right there. Lost my last close relative. Lost. No, I didn't. I didn't lose him. He decided it was time. I went upstairs, and luckily there was 2 cigarettes left. I took one. I lit it up. I started to smoke it. And I could feel it. With every drag I took, I just went, and it drained me. By the 3rd drag, I felt like I was just going to fall on the ground. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I just got rid of it, and I went, Daryl, wow, you just lost it there completely. I mean, I was out of my mind. I didn't realize that I went through the whole program of when I was younger, and stress cigarette, stress drink, stress drugs, stress whatever. I got right to it. I got this. I sat down. I stayed outside at the side of the house in Kelowna on the rocks overlooking the valley, and I thought about everything that we did together and why I loved him so much, and I was at peace. But it still took me 4 or 5 hours to regain myself from just having those 3 or 4 drags. So understand this. We never lost our imagination. We gave it to someone that could twist and torment our life forever. Find your imagination? No, don't worry about it. You've got one. Every night you think you're going to die. You think you need to be on guard. You can't process your emotions. That's obvious. So anyways, imagination, image. Everything in our life we see as an image first. Everything in our life we see as an image first. Oh, you saw your cancer. You saw your suffering. No, you didn't. You created it. So each image together makes a movie. This is why you have to be in the present moment and own it. I'm not going to say anything more important ever. If you could be in the present moment, connected to your breath and own it, observing how you are processing the world at every moment, oh my God, you would not return back to this planet for another life. And I don't even know if that's true, but I'll tell you one thing, you'd be out of here, baby. Okay, so the image. You know what they say? What do they say about an image? An image is worth 1,000 words. So when I look at Gary, do I see love, I see a brother, or do I see it something else? When you look at things, if I think of Bill Gates, or I think of these people, if I think about how much I hate them, or chemtrails, or anything, all these people that can't shut their mouth. Yes, 5G's real. Yes, blue light's real. But you have to, every place that you go, you have to bring it up and talk about it. And do you know why you do it? Because you're running a suffering program. And you're just suffering. I know that these things exist, but why aren't you focusing on every... Okay, we know they're coming. So just don't have it around you. The best thing you can do is not put any money into it. Don't put your time and energy into it. And if you do that, then do a show. And then hit 10,000 people at a time with it and give them the facts. Strategize as much as these psychos do. Why don't you strategize your life? Why don't you strategize your day? Why don't you try that for the first time in your life? So now you're going to have a different image, because an image creates thought. Thoughts create what? Emotions. And when you repeat them long enough and strong enough, you create a program. Your subconscious is only a computer, empty computer, and information goes into it. From 0 to 7, they dump all the crap they can as fast as they can, because there's no filter. And that's why I said God did not create the brain. And if he did, he's got one hell of a sense of humor. So now you've got all these dysfunctional beliefs, because we all know our parents were dysfunctional and they did their very best. But you can't ask somebody to tighten a screw with a hammer. And I got hammered. And they didn't know what else to do, because that's the tool they were given. So image creates thought, thoughts create emotion. Now let's have the same emotion over and over again. Now you're running a depressive program, an anxiety program, or a happy program, or a joy program, or a victim program, or a hero program. And then all those programs create that physical body of yours. I don't need a doctor, I am my doctor. You need to become your own doctor. Okay, so now, image, thought, emotion, repeat it enough, program. And you're going to tell me that the program you're running, you're conscious of the fact that you made it. You didn't make it. You didn't make it. You've never worked on it. You've never worked on it. Boy, has life ever, dealt me a bad hand. Really? Really? No. You weren't invited to the card game until you were 7. And then you usually don't wake up until you're 50. And it's all planned that way. So now, we got the program that we're running. And then you're going to go around and tell everybody, well, that's my personality. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's just like the other day, this lady, she has 2 kids. Here, little kids. And I come up, like, kids are really scared of me? Seriously? No, they're not. So I say, hello, how you doing, guys? They both run behind the mother's legs. Oh, they're shy. And I say, no. They've been taught to be not confident. They've been taught that when they do things, they could get in trouble for it. And you might want to think about that, sweetheart. And that's why people don't like me. There are no such thing as shy kids. There's kids that now know that it's not safe to speak or to come out. So that's why the child in you is still buried down here in your poop, so nobody can find it. So we're all running programs. I'm running a program right now. I'm running a program that I'm going to see how many people I can enlighten. Hopefully within the next 20 to 25 years too. That's my goal. I'm kidding. Do you know why I do what I do? Because I'm selfish. I'm selfish enough to know that if I want to become something, I have to help others to get there too. How selfish is that? So now I run the program. So guess what? You think your personality is your reality, and it's not. It's not the real you, but you'll just keep on playing it. That's why you have the diseases you do, because every negative emotion creates a specific disease. Then when you take 2 or 3 different ones together, you get a different disease. Why did she die? She shouldn't have died. It wasn't that bad. Did you see how many negative beliefs she was running at the same time? She blew her body out. You've got stage 3 or 4 cancer. You've only got 3 weeks to live. Bullshit. I do not. I'm changing my personality today, which is going to change my reality. You only said that because you think I'm going to go home and eat the same thing, drink the same thing, think the same thing, hang around with the same people. I'm off to Mexico. I'm going to go down on the beach and do a sand scrub. I'm going to swim in the ocean 20 minutes twice a day. I'm going to do some juicing. I'm going to do some blender drinks. I'm going to walk with nature. I'm going to get out of the environment that created the cancer in the first place. Don't tell me what I'm going to do. Yes, that person would have died in 3 weeks if they went back to their home and hung around with the same people. Your environment creates your disease. But first and foremost, it's in here and then it's out here. I don't care what my kids do. I want them to treat themselves with love and respect, but I don't care what they do anymore because I can't control them. So I'm not going to come at them and terrorize them anymore. I got children that probably still smoke. I got children that toke too much, drink too much. Right? But I can't change them. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to love them anyway. They see what I'm doing. You know what? The problem is, every one of us, not just you, me, everybody on this planet, you've only been taught to learn only one way. One way. When you're down on your knees and begging God, please, and then you found out that you had to show up for yourself. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. There's 4 different types of people. I got people coming to me that say I'm an atheist. And I go, good. Most atheists, before they leave, and trust me, I've been around enough, they start believing in something pretty quick. But let me tell you something. I have people that believe in nothing that could be invisible. But guess what? They'll take stage 3 and 4 cancer and turn it around because they love themselves so much, they just do it. You've been given everything you can to heal. I'll have people coming to me and going, it's in God's hands. That person's not going to make it. They're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. So you can just take that to the bank. And guess what? If they do make it, they're back again for 2nd and 3rd time cancer. Until you change your beliefs, you change nothing. You know what? We got the tumor, but we didn't get the belief. You know what? I really don't know why we would be so arrogant and leave it all up to God. I'm done with that one. You know, it takes teamwork, right? And then I have the people that have faith, and it doesn't matter. I have people that have faith in the craziest religions. And guess what? But they have faith in themselves. And they heal that fast. There's only 4,500 different ones. So when you get both of those together, boom, powerhouse. I let God off the hook a long time ago. I said, thanks for giving me the opportunity to rise. I'll show up. But first you got to grow up. Okay? Now, let's keep going. So I know it's difficult. Why do you think they have all these drive-ins? All these drive-thrus, I mean. All these drive-thrus, you had a choice. You didn't have to go off the road. Oh yeah, but I'm in a hurry. No, you're not. You're programmed. Because when you eat fast food, you have no energy and you can't think. It takes you 10 times longer to do everything, and you never can get enough sleep. I went to bed last night at 11:30 and I got up at 4:30. How do you think I keep up with my stuff, teach a class all day, and then answer my patients, and then comment to people that are trying to get out of Canada and the United States? How do I do that? Well, I get up and then I start on the toilet. And usually I'm not there long, but you know, it's like, we'll get her done. We'll get it done. And remember something. People go to me, you work too hard, you're going to get sick. What is wrong with you? I love my life. I have abundant energy. I go to bed tired, but guess what? I get excited just, you know what? Something that I don't even know what it is decided to actually create me. I mean, should I have anything else to be happy about? I mean, seriously? And then it said, your potential's unlimited, go for it. Are you tired of just existing? Well, that's what you're going to do when you leave it up to your saviors, whoever they are. Okay. So now we know that every emotion releases chemicals, whether good or bad. I don't want to go into that. We'll be here all day. We'll do that tomorrow or the next day. And remember something. You're either creating a healing or you're killing yourself. And understand something. We've never had so many suicides on this planet. And you have to go into depression before you ever create suicide. And you know what it is? Suicide means that you're opting out. You didn't get the support you needed, and you haven't got the beliefs to hang in there. And I just want to tell every religious freak out there that anybody that committed suicide went to heaven. They did their best. They get a rerun. They get a rewrite. You get off of that pedestal right now. No, there's just certain things I'm not gonna tolerate. That's a man-made thing. For God's sakes. Can you remember a time in your life when you were a child that you thought you'd like to hang yourself? Almost everybody. Luckily you didn't follow through, but because you followed through, you're going to have eternity in hell. Let me tell you something. This is, again, the psycho-elite. They got to get into everything and poison it. And it's not hard to poison a minister or a pastor or a government official or somebody that's supposed to be authority, because anybody that's authority over you isn't. It's make-believe. There is no authority over you. Not on the planet, there isn't. Nobody. Okay, let's get back to this. I'm off track. Rant and rave. I should have taken my medication.
Super necessary.
Okay, so now we know that the invisible creates the physical. There is not one thing from a pimple to a tumor that you didn't co-create with the dysfunctional beliefs that were programmed into you when you were younger. End of story. My God, think about this. The government's been trying to kill us forever. They work for the elite. They don't work for us. They don't. And the elite doesn't even, they're not even in charge. There's something behind that. So understand something. The government's trying to kill us, steal all our money, and then that's all they're trying to do. Then there's a corner store trying to poison everyone. There's the liquor store. There's the vaping now. Vaping's more toxic than smoking. And now vaping's the cool thing. Okay? They're going to take away all gatherings because humans... Okay, here's the deal. I don't want to live alone. But guess what? I'm never alone. I love myself unconditionally, and I love myself and fill my heart up every day. If I was alone for the next month, I would contemplate things, and I would want to connect with that which I create, what I call universal consciousness. How many of you, you know, yeah, honey, every time you go away, I just, you know, I can't do this. I can't do this. Oh, yeah, I got to leave the radio on all night. Oh, I got to leave the TV on. There's a TV on in every room. Okay, all of this is unworthiness. Unworthiness. Unworthy people are sick all the time. And guess what? Start tracking yourself on a calendar and you'll find out that you're just a program. Why don't you go in and rewrite the program? But you're going to have to do it 10,000 times. I got this. 3, 2, 1, I approve of myself. That's the old me. Oh yeah, I got this. And get real excited. Get really excited. Like you've never been excited in your life before. Trust me, I do it all the time. Okay? All right? You know what? Start having more fun with yourself than anyone else. And you're going, what? That sounds insane. That sounds crazy. You know what? Why not be crazy? You know, the funniest thing is the people that actually changed the world were either hung, shot in the head, okay, or poisoned to death. All right? And they were crazy too. All right. So we know that everything starts here. Isn't that something? It's a computer. And it's a chemist. That's all it is. And guess what? You're not the programmer. You're not the programmer until you love your life. Uncle Harry just died of a heart attack. I loved Uncle Harry. Let me think about all the things that he taught me, all the times that we had. And then guess what? If you've been programmed properly, then you're going to go into mourning for weeks and months and make yourself sick. You think that if I don't mourn and suffer, I didn't like Uncle Harry. My Uncle Don, I never loved a human being more than him. Closest person to me. I went off track for maybe 3 to 5 minutes, and then I pulled myself back. Every time I think of him, I think of the gifts he gave me, and I gave him a leaving party with my blessings. Now, if I would have used him to fill up part of my heart, then part of my heart would have to be empty. It would have to be hurting. It'd have to be aching. You all got sucker punched. Anyway, so the brain is a chemist. It's a computer. It just runs programs. So the program you run will release either your daily dose of love. What's dose? Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. If it's a negative program, it's going to be hack. You'll be hacking all the time. And you can hear the people hacking, you know? And when you get people up that aren't confident, people that believe they're an imposter, when they start this kind of work, they choke, eh? They start hacking, right? Hairball. You know, you got to get rid of that. You got to get your confidence back. You got to get to the point that you just love making mistakes. Because when you love making mistakes, you are going to be what you've been looking for. And you got to love making mistakes, and you'll never put yourself on the hook. And if anybody goes, well, you failed at that, just go, please, just go away. All right? Just go away. Go away. I didn't fail at it. I'm practicing. Okay? Did you never see a ballet dancer? One small move, and they'll do it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. My son practiced a move, Jera. He would practice the move for 3 weeks. One little move with his foot, because it had to be exact. And now he's like 33, and he's one of the top ballet choreographers in North America. The biggest companies want him. The biggest ballet centers want him. Why? Because he stuck to it. You've been taught not to have patience, and that's why you're a patient, and you'll always be a patient, and you'll be on medication, because you bought into a fraudulent program. So we got to put new programs in here, which means that if, you know what, you've got two choices. One, you could be insanely happy like me and be a whack job, or you can be insanely miserable and you'll fit right in. I only smile when there's a need to smile. Really. That's really great. That's going to work for you. So anyway, so we're going to dump these chemicals. Those chemicals are what? They are the end result of your image of your life. The chemicals you dump are the end result of the image you have of yourself, your family, and the world around you. Okay, so you can heal, but understand something. It's going to be not willpower. Willpower, you'll be drained. You'll be exhausted. You'll financially be exhausted. Okay, you'll physically be exhausted, but you're healed. You need to change your beliefs and the way you treat yourself, that you actually treat yourself. Did anybody ever notice? Hey, honey, want to go for a treat? It's never a treat. Hey, honey, I'm going to go for my treatment. Why don't you get trained? Why would you go for a treatment? Go get trained. You're only good till the next treatment. Okay. All right. So here it starts. Let's talk about the physical. So believe it or not, you decide what to eat by the programs they put into you. That's why I'm a health nut. And that's why you can eat total garbage and nobody will ever say a word to you, because you're making everybody feel comfortable around you. People that eat right, live right, make everybody feel uncomfortable. Oh, but we're the most intelligent species in the universe. Wow. Really? Yeah. Okay. So as soon as you think about food, your mouth waters. That's because you need to get the enzymes in there from the salivary glands. Now, when you go in and you think about eating something, do you ask yourself, where does this sit on the vibration scale? Okay, how many people know that there are not 4 food groups, there's 5? The 5th food group overrules all other food groups. It's frequency. It's vibration. How high is the frequency in that food? How much light does that food hold? When you're eating a fruit or a vegetable, you're taking in the sun. When you're eating a new improved product that's in a box or in a can or in a jar, it has no light, it has no frequency, it has very low vibration, and it's full of toxins which distort the chemicals to cause you to be someone no one wants to live with. People do not fall out of love, they fall into toxicity. Oh yeah, the older you get, the more clear you are of thought. I am. Try to keep up with me. I'm 66. When I was 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, I wore glasses. I don't even use reading glasses because I see clear now. And I also know how to protect myself against blue light. And I also know that, guess what? Anger goes into my liver and my gallbladder, and if I stay angry, I know the liver is connected to the eyes. But I know that the eyes don't see. The eyes only pick up light and frequency. And guess what? Most people live inside now. They live on their phone. They live on the computer. Okay? That's where they live. So they're not getting sunlight. They're getting blue light. And we know that blue light is more toxic than 5G. Meanwhile, nobody's talking about it. So anyways, blue light, your eyes don't see. Your eyes only pick up light and frequency. That's it. Did you know that? That's why the optic nerve is backwards, to slow the light down so that it can relay the information to your brain, and your brain makes the image of what we're looking at right now. My eyes don't see Todd, my brain sees Todd. I see blue on Todd, but guess what? We all decided what blue was going to be, but I can't explain the color blue because you all think you know what blue is, but I may not be seeing the same color as you, but I'm calling it blue. Are you still with me? I hope you're with me. Okay, well you are. Okay? You need to be with me on this. Everything here is an illusion. You can't, but no way, cancer's not an illusion. Well, that's how good we are with our imagination. And collectively, we've come together to decide what is going to look like what and be what. Okay, So I think about the food, my mouth starts to water. Is that food high vibrational, low vibrational? Because guess what? All food and drink leaves the body. So everything you've ever ate, physical form has never stayed in you. What actually creates the bone, the tissue, everything? The invisible. Tell me I'm wrong. The most important math equation, E equals mc squared. Energy creates mass. Energy creates mass. So what you think does matter. What the type of energy, the light, the frequency in the food, it creates the matter. You created the tumor, okay, by bringing in tumor frequencies. You created the psoriasis, the eczema, the allergies, the heart disease. Everything has a vibration, and we can prove it. So now, the food. The majority says, well, as long as it tastes good, but we don't even know what tastes good. Because guess what? Did you know that we're all drug addicts? Everybody here is a drug addict. Anybody here that eats is a drug addict. And you cannot you can't get off of being a drug addict unless you're going to eat a whole plant-based diet, okay, for at least 9 months to a year. You actually think that when you got to go and eat those Oreos, that ice cream, that beer, that alcohol, or any other toxic substance, that you made the decision. You didn't. The program here made the decision, and if it's got to do with sugars, then it's the fungus that was in your intestine that used to be yeast, that drilled holes, that's in your body. How many people here usually crave something sweet or alcohol around anywhere between 7 and 9 o'clock? That is when the fungus inside of you wakes up, because they are vampires. They wake up when the sun goes down and they go, Daddy, feed me. We're gonna make more fungus babies. So honey, it's like this. Hey honey, I'm kind of feeling snacky. What about you? Yeah, you're right. 7:15. Everything's a program. The glass of wine, the crackers, the popcorn. And I'm not downing popcorn, but every night, okay? So understand, these refined carbs, these sugars are feeding the fungus. That's why there's a corner store on every corner. That's why when you go into a supermarket, 90% of all the food is toxic. 90. In a health food store, it's 70 to 60. So now, I look at the food, I ask myself, what's it gonna leave and what's it gonna take from me? And then when I do eat that food, what about food combining, guys? Did you notice something? They made our life into a buffet. You know what people do when they come to us? I'll go take a look at the perfect day diet. They'll look at it, and then they'll go, yeah, but I read it, but I need you to tell me what I can't eat. My God, I'd be there all day. I'd be there all day. I can only tell you what you can eat if you want to be healthy. Anything that man touches is poisoned. And the more they pass it off to another man, it's poisoned more. So, food combining. Never eat more than one protein at a meal. That means whether it's animal protein or whether it's vegetable protein, only one. But don't do it and then find out. Do you want to know something? The majority of people in the world today consider that part of eating is bloating, and feeling tired after a meal. That's what we consider to be normal. So, no more than one protein at a meal. Never mix a protein and a starch together. You can get away with it maybe with fish and rice, but you better make sure you're not tired. Remember, the more tired you are, the less ability you have to digest. The older you are, the less ability you have to digest. Remember how you could eat the whole pizza? Now you eat 2 pieces, can't get your eyes open, get out of bed. So the older you get, the more you need to food combine, the more fresher and raw it needs to be, and the more you need to chew your food, because the less enzymes your body's making. I'm getting old. No, you're not. You're getting congested. If you eat a whole plant-based diet, you'll always have lots of enzymes. You'll never have cancer. No matter how they poison the world, you'll never get sick. And you know what people do? Yeah, but guess what? If I can't get organic, I'm not going to eat it. You know what? All you got to do is throw your veggies and fruit in structured water, and it's over. All you got to do is spray them with structured water. It's over. And guess what? There's a lot of inorganic that actually have more light and frequency than the organic. So the reality is this, just make sure you structure it. But here's the big thing. What about chewing it until it's a liquid? You know, people used to live in, when we had concentration camps, which were, oh, did you know we're getting some new ones? We're getting them. We've got them in Canada. We got concentration camps now being built all over the world. Isn't that great? History does repeat itself, because guess what? It's not history. It's his story. It's their story. They said it's time to what? We now grew the crop. Let's do the harvest. Now, let's get back to this. So in these concentration camps, do you know why people survived? Because they would put their head forward. They would put the cooked rat or whatever it was in their mouth, and they wouldn't chew it. They'd let it sit there. They mix it with saliva. They'd let it sit there for 20 minutes to a half an hour. They'll let it get in there and break down. And then they would chew on it and suck on it, but not swallow it. Keep your head forward, and the whole thing was dissolved. They got all the nutrition out of it. You take it, and you're hungry, like when you're really hungry, because you're hungry, whether it's emotional or you are, you put it in your mouth and you gulp it down, you only digest the surface area, and that's why you have gas 2 hours later. That's why you have cramps. That's why you get diarrhea the next day. That's why you're constipated. That's why you're pooping in your pelvis. Do I need to keep going? No, we'll get to that. So we need to food combine. Vegetables can go with starches. Vegetables can go with proteins. No proteins and starches together. Okay, that's why the rice and beans, it's not great to do that every day, guys. You are going to get bloated. Okay? And then, fruits. Don't be making fruit salad, throwing citrus in with subacid and acid. Don't do that. Try to have only one at a time, and especially when it comes to melons. Just eat melons. Don't mix them with anything else. Learn the food combining rules. They're in the Perfect Day guide that you all have. So learn those food combining rules. Also in there, I have all the rules to show every emotion and what the diseases are caused. It's in your Perfect Day guide. And then start looking at the people that you know that have illnesses and find out that, guess what? It's not rocket science. It's logic. It's not a medical breakthrough. It's nature. Okay, so now we're going to chew our solids till they're liquids, right? And we're going to take our liquids and we're going to chew our liquids and drink our solids. Did you get that? Chew our liquids, drink our solids. We already won the game. You already won. And if you're eating with a spoon or a fork, you're going to put it down after every mouthful. You're going to put it down every mouthful, after every mouthful. And you are going to keep your mouth quiet unless you can give somebody praise or tell them how much you love them. You are not coming to the table ever again to tell where somebody let you down. Who can digest under stress? Most families come to the table and that's where they do all their negotiating. No, 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 no. Especially the parents, they're the tyrants. Unless you're working to make your home into a love health zone, then what's your value? Women are broke. Men have not showed up for the last 50 years. When men were supposed to protect their family in the house, that was the deal, wasn't it? Now they'll let all the Wi-Fi in. They don't even want to turn it off at night. They'll keep the TV running all the time because, you know, it's beer and TV. And it is with most people. Especially the ones, and guess what? The people that are wearing the, you know what? They take their mask off to drink beer. They take their mask off to eat crap. And then guess what? They've got, not all of them, but most of them, because they live in fear. When you live in fear, you're not making good decisions. They're rotting. So they're rotting inside, and because they're rotting inside, the cells have to get rid of the infection and inflammation every change of season, and we call it the flu, but then we get screwed. Because you guys were pooping in your pelvis and just shoving anything into your mouth. So guess what? The so-called un-V people, okay, the people that don't believe in the C thing, oh, they need to get punished because you were government certified. Yeah, you're government certified insane. You're trying to kill yourself. Don't think we're going with you. So you can see that I'm not lacking friends. I don't need to say things to cuddle people, or I need people. You need to understand, the day that you don't need approval from other people, you'll speak the truth. You know why we're in this mess? Because nobody speaks the truth. Everybody lies to themselves and everybody else. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I won't do it. Whether I live another year or another 40 years, I'd like to do 40 more, but I'm going to live it with integrity because I'm not going to play your game. I'm not going to play the game that the majority's playing. I'm not playing it. I've opted out. Do you mind? I'm out. Okay, so hopefully we've chewed our food until it's a liquid, and then it's going to come down to our stomach. Here's a problem. Whether we like it or not, as we get older, the hydrochloric acid and the pepsin does get weaker. Because by the time I realized that I was poisoning myself, I did do some damage. But not enough damage that I'm not enjoying this vehicle. I know I can't get away with eating the whole pizza, and I don't really want to anymore because I don't want to feel that full. I don't want to be bloated. Thank you. When the food comes down to the stomach, understand something. The hydrochloric acid in the stomach has to be strong enough, because it's a very powerful acid, that it'll dissolve a worm, a parasite. It will kill bad bacteria. It will kill mold and fungus. But it can't kill a virus because the virus isn't alive. And you do not take in viruses. You cannot eat a virus. You cannot breathe a virus in. Do you think you guys could be present for a little bit here? You cannot. Viruses come from within inside the cell because the cell is spewing toxins to try to survive. Your flu is going to be as bad as the way you thought and you fed yourself. That's it. End of story. Listen. It irks me when people go, I got the COVID. Do you know your words matter? All right, so the food's going to come down into the stomach. Hopefully the hydrochloric acid is strong enough to do that. Your hydrochloric acid is your guard dog. Oh, you're going to love this. So every time that you're anxious, every time you're depressed, you have no hydrochloric acid in your stomach. Every time you have anxiety, you have no hydrochloric acid in your stomach. There's no guard dog. So if they can keep you stressed out, anything that's poisonous is going to come through. That's why we can all have the same meal, but Fred's coming out both ends. I got food poisoning. Fred, you were poisoning your food up until the point that you didn't have anything left to break down the little bit of toxin. Does everybody know that there are no allergies? There are toxic foods, but when you're allergic to healthy foods, that means you're allergic to life, which means your immune system is in crash mode. Okay. So anyways, down in the stomach, you see, if you can see the close-up of this, these are called rugae. And they move like a washing machine, churning it for you, mixing all the enzymes in there, the hydrochloric acid, mixing the food up for you. But what if you ate and you were stressed out? Well, you don't have the enzymes there, and you're definitely going to have heartburn. What if you eat too fast? You're going to have heartburn. Okay, what if you're stressed out but you ate good food? You're still going to have heartburn. It doesn't matter. It does not matter how much you paid for the food. You grew it yourself. It's organic. If you sit down and you eat a food, a beautiful high vibrational food, and you've got negative going on in your mind, you poison the food. Do not eat until you realign. Your vibration goes into everything that comes into that area and into the tube. Your mouth is the front door, your rectum's the back door. This is the only thing that is inside you that has access to the open world. So do you think you should take care of that highway? Do you think that you shouldn't put anything on the highway when you're anxious or depressed because you've just taken all the blood from your core and you've moved it out to your arms and legs, especially when you're in flight mode, fright mode, fear mode? I never eat. Like Gloria will go, Daryl, she's made something or we're going out to eat. Aren't you going to eat? No, can't. I got to realign. I got to realign. I'm not going to eat because I was programmed to eat like some kind of garburator. I'm going to actually realign myself and bring myself back into alignment so I know that all the energy's back in my core, not in my arms and legs. I need to think straight. All right. You know, life is the craziest thing. Of all the days and all the times they've decided to pave this road, I want you to listen to me and allow that to be white noise. And hopefully they won't be going when we ask them when you're going to do it. They say, mañana, finish it. Hopefully they move quick. Okay. So now the food's going to come down. It's going to go into your stomach. Hopefully everything's going good. Then it's going to come into the small intestine. That's 22 feet long. That's 22 feet. And it's got all these little hairs in there called villi. And the more toxic foods, the more GMOs, the more chemicals, you break the hairs off. And how does anybody know what those hairs are for? They're not just to pick up micronutrients. They're to pick up the light and the frequency off the nutrients. Are you guys like getting this? It's like amazing. You do know that your hair is crystalline. It's made out of silica, and it's to pick up frequencies that the universe is giving us. This is all science, okay? So the more of those hairs are broke off, the less you're going to be able to heal your leaky gut. But understand, leaky gut is mainly happening in the large intestine, not the small intestine. Okay? So the small intestine really looks after taking up the micronutrients all the way through. And then we get to where we call the ileocecal valve. This here is called the appendix. And remember when they used to tell us the appendix had nothing, it's useless? There's nothing useless. The appendix makes lymphocytes. It makes good bacteria. As soon as you cut that off, you just cut the factory of making lymphocytes and good bacteria for your large intestine. You just killed the guard. Okay, so we've got what we call the ileocecal valve from the small intestine. Am I yelling? Or like, it makes me feel like I have to yell with this pavement guy. Am I okay? Okay. Because then people go, oh, he's angry again. Okay, all right. So the small intestine, ileocecal valve, then the cecum. So what happens when you get your appendix cut is it actually creates scar tissue. That scar tissue actually blocks the ileocecal valve. So now you've got a one-way, that one-way door is now a two-way door, and now the parasites that are in the large intestine and the bad bacteria are getting back into your small intestine. Does anybody hear a SIBO? Small intestine bacterial overgrowth. They didn't grow in the small intestine. They came from the large intestine because of the backup, and it went into the small intestine, and now all hell's going loose. Did you know with Wolf Non-Surgical, we can get rid of the scar tissue in 5 to 10 minute treatment and shut the valve and make it work again? It's not, because it's not rust, it's scar tissue. And once you pull the scar tissue apart and allow the blood flow and the lymph flow and the energy back into it, thank you. Yes?
Is that the only thing that causes it, the ileocecal?
Can you take the mic, please? Right here.
Is that the only thing then that causes the ileocecal valve to close, is getting the appendix removed?
No. Okay, so meat, cheese, anything that's going to be inflammatory, go ahead and eat fast. Eat fast. Because by the time it gets there, it didn't, okay, remember, the smaller the particle, the more we digest. The bigger the chunk, we only digest the surface area. So by the time it travels 30 feet, that is a stinking mess. It's rotting. Okay, so here's the deal. How do you like this? So anyways, all the doors and the windows are closed. Where did the fruit flies come from? They were already there, but they weren't awakened, and the fruit flies only come when the fruit's gone bad. Because the fruit fly is there to eat up the fruit. Hey, you only have bad bacteria and fungus, okay, and worms because you are a manure pile. Did you ever dig into a manure pile? It just sits there with the heat, right? Flip it over. Just the smell, all that gas, well, that's why your farts stink. That's why you got bad breath. That's why even the vagina smells like fish, dead fish. That's why the underarms stink, okay? All right? This is an X-rated movie, okay? All right. I mean, you might as well know it. I don't use any deodorant. I'll use our Muscle Restore or our immunity oil because it smells so nice when I feel like I need something to put on for muscle tension, which I don't have anymore. You know, I just don't use the stuff anymore because I am. You know, remember I Am, the song this morning? I am what I was looking for. I am the one. When do you think the one will get here? You decide. Okay, so anyways, so now let's take a little deviation. So you need a cesarean. Cut or cut. What causes more scar tissue than anything else in the human body?
Surgery.
What is the worst surgery you can have as a woman?
Cesarean.
That's right, a cesarean. How long do the roots grow on a cesarean scar within 2 years? 2 to 3 inches. They choke off your small intestine, your large intestine. They choke off and cause problems with the ovaries, the bladder. Try to make love, see how that goes. Feel the pulling all the time. You don't digest properly. You don't poop properly. You can't sleep properly. Everything's messed up. Any woman that ever got a cesarean, she needs 1 to 3 treatments, and guess what? We can reverse the whole thing. Because scar tissue is not okay, so we know that if you have surgery to get rid of scar tissue, what do you get more of? Oh my God, what a bunch of morons we are. I mean, seriously. The body will heal itself. We are electromagnetic energy beings. And when I call us morons, I was a moron. If I have moronic thoughts, I'm going to become that. If I have dumb thoughts, would that make me what? Smart? So when I say that, I'm not personally telling anyone that. I'm trying to tell you we're back to this. This is just a computer. It's what you put in it. You've always had a choice to pull out the programs, but you didn't want to because you couldn't, because you were honoring the family curse. I need love so bad, you know. I know it's contaminated and everything, but it's better than nothing, because I can't live without love. You can't live without oxygen. That's what love is like. So, you know, you'll take something. Oh my God, you know, she keeps marrying the same guy. Okay. All right. So anyways, we can totally, oh, and by the way, you know how ugly that looks? We can get it to the point that you can be standing 2 feet away and you can't see the scar. Nobody told you that, did they? You can go to a natural health doctor and he doesn't understand that all the issues in the tissues are scar tissue, whether it's an organ, tendon, muscle, or a joint. He doesn't understand that it's the displaced calcium. That's why everybody's got osteopenia and osteoporosis. They're pulling all the calcium out of their bones and not putting it back. And then all the natural health doctors and all the greatest minds, they don't know how to get the calcium back into the bones. Well, you, who only took a 22-day course, is going to be able to reverse all of this. So don't call me up with anything except success stories. And every time you go to work on someone, you call me and I'll tell you what I would do, and then you're going to rocket that thing. Because the reason why you fail is because you've never had support. And understand, learning health, whether you want to be a practitioner or you just want to be the hero for yourself and your family, is that health is a language. And it's going to take you 1 to 2 years, and we will support you for the rest of your life. And that's that. Every one of the master trainers, everyone that's going through here just wants to support you. Why? Because I've always lived up to my word. Haven't I, everybody? People have been with me for years. I've lived up to my word. No matter, even if they've asked me the same question 3 or 6 times. Sharon? Yes. I say Sharon because she's brave enough that she doesn't feel hurt. Everybody asks me the same questions because it's repetition. But guess what? Did you ever notice your teacher never had patience for you? I already went through that. What the hell's wrong with you, Jan? Nothing. Jan needs repetition like I needed it. I need to have the patience of Job, or this job's never going to get done. We have to be loving. That's what unconditional love is. It's where somebody asks you the same question over and over again. Just tell it a little different way for them. Okay. So let's make this really clear. The person that gets gallbladder attacks, we know they hold on to what? Anger. Okay, when there's too much anger, it goes from the liver into the gallbladder. And anger causes inflammation, so you're going to end up having gallstones, which are calcium deposits that you pulled from your bones, and you're going to have the calcium, and you're going to have cholesterol, right? Because the cholesterol was to goop up the cracks in the arteries, because the arteries are cracking because they're calcifying, and the cholesterol is the glue, because if they crack, they can actually, in the arteries in the body, it's okay, but if the artery in your heart cracks because of the calcification, it'll cause a blood clot, and that's how you have a heart attack and die. And we went through that already, and they don't tell you this. You don't get a heart attack and die because because you've got plaque and they're shutting down. You get a heart attack because the calcium cut the artery. Never heard that before, did you? That's their little secret. You can reverse all of this. Okay, so the gallbladder, you can believe it or not believe it, the head surgeon for Toronto General Hospital used to come and get surgery, get colonics. I used to do colonics when I was a lot younger. And guess what? You know what he said? Because we were talking about the gallbladder and how people get their gallbladder cut out. And I was saying, yeah, when you do that, then you get a 400% better chance of having bowel cancer. Did you know that? Right up, 400%. And the only reason why you get rid of your gallbladder is so you can still have a crappy diet. Because nobody, you know, it's like this. People can be angry, but they're not going to have gallbladder attacks. But if you're angry and you have a crappy diet, you're going to have gallbladder attacks. They go together. You believe it or not, I don't really care. Okay? So now, I said to him, so how many do you do a day? He said, I can do 12 to 16 a day. Yeah. And he goes, but you want to know a secret? He said, sure. We keep all the stones because a lot of times we'll go in and take the gallbladder out and there's no stones, just a teeny bit of sand. And we never should have done it. And people want to take their gallstones home, so we give them the gallstones to someone else. Well, come on. You can't have a disappointed customer, right? It's got to be worth it. No, we went in there and took your gallbladder, but we didn't find anything. What? So in a way, he's doing a good service because we don't want the person to poison themselves with that, right? You shouldn't have went in there in the first place. Okay. So now we're at the cecum. Did you ever notice something? You can start chewing food here when you're really healthy, and 20 minutes later you have a bowel movement. But if the bowel movement looks like a normal bowel movement, you're healthy. But if it's diarrhea, it means that you're unhealthy. Now, it doesn't mean that you're unhealthy, going to get sick, because you can also get diarrhea, because diarrhea can be a normal thing when there's a bug in there that it says, we can't handle this, bring in the water to the bowel and shoot that sucker out. Okay. So anyway, so once you start chewing here, and it drops down into the stomach, and then it goes into the small intestine, you create peristalsis. Dad, you're going to have to get a seat and sit down. You're blocking people's views. Everybody that's standing, please get a seat. If you don't need to be standing. Okay, so when it gets to the small intestine, which is 22 feet, the minute it goes in there, it creates a snake-like movement, peristalsis. And look at how strong, there is ridges here, you see them? Light. You see how deep they are going around here? Well, those ridges are supposed to be strong to move the waste out, because it's got to keep moving. It's an assembly line. If things stay too long in one place, well, we'll get to that over at this chart, won't we? Okay? So then it's going to make the waste, which is not waste yet, because it's got to take more water and it's going to take more nutrients, and then it starts to get more solid around the transverse colon, comes around the corner, down, and then it comes out. Now, that's part one. And then when we come back, we'll do number two. We'll be back. Cut it off. You know, it's not good enough to have the most powerful courses, treatments, and training. We want to deliver to you the adventure of a lifetime that's going to last a lifetime. And I'm going to take you on a little adventure right now and show you what we are going to deliver. What are we going to deliver? We are going to deliver the authentic you, the real you, the genius inside. How would you like to become not just the master of your mind, but the master of your body, the master of your life? You know what? The most important world is your world, and we're about to show you how to create it.
Found Dr. Wolf and all his positivity and trying to reshape our way of thinking and help me be a better person, a better mom, better wife. I'm glad I found him in person in Ixtapa, Mexico.
Never limit yourself to beautiful, because that's what you are. Take a look at this beautiful place. We all deserve beauty in our life. You need to create a new program that is unlimited when it comes to things that are beautiful, things that make you happy, things that make you shine, things that make you feel excited. Let's get excited.
This guy's got something really interesting to say and he's sharing it really openly and we're just really not caring what other people think, and I just thought that was really empowering.
What I've learned in my life is this: to be the change you wish to be the change you wish to see, Braveheart, you have to understand you take life one step at a time.
Dr. Wolf, as many people will have seen, is very direct and straight and will take you to the edge of the cliff, as he says, and then pull you back just in time.
Never lose your focus. Never lose your dream, because you are the dream maker. It's image, but guess what? It's your imagination. The image that you hold creates the thought that you live with. That thought creates an emotion that creates a frequency, and we know that the invisible creates the physical. I mean, that's quite obvious. So be the power that you seek, and understand something, that all your thoughts matter. And guess what? Unless you're willing to take a look at those thoughts and retrain your brain, change your personality, you'll never change your reality, and your reality could become infinite.
He's a wealth of information, and I love it.
You were created by your creator to create. So let's create something amazing together.
I found Dr. Wolf and I went, wow, here's a truth speaker. And he spoke to my soul and he spoke truth.
So tell me what you think of the destination that I came up with my imagination to hold the whole life coach certification for you. Understand something. It's all about beauty. It's all about adventure. It's all about stimulating the mind, okay? And understanding that your mind is unlimited. And that is what the whole life coach certification is all about. In the whole life coach certification, we are going to go deeper. We have people coming to us, professionals coming to us, from doctors to nurses to accountants to oil riggers to mothers that want to expand their life. And when they come here, they go, I need to learn to help my family, or I want to improve my business. But guess what? We get into their business. When they leave, they become the change that they wish to see, that they wish to be. They become the gift to the world, because when you can stay in the present, and you can't do that until you have unconditional love and care for yourself. And I'll tell you something right now. I have hardly even found 1 out of 1,000 practitioners or even so-called whole life coaches that can hold the present moment and own it and then give it as a gift. And this is what I'm going to give to you. And when you come here, this is where you're going to come into this room when you need to find alignment, you need to find balance, and you need to get back into your lion heart breath, because we're going to go deep into your heart and we're going to become the spark that you seek.
And actually what I really love about Dr. Wolf's teachings is that unconditional love is literally it. And then you're like, how can it be that easy? That's just silly. So, but it's really not.
Come play, come stay, come train with us today. Understand something. I know we have fear, but understand, that's just false evidence appearing real. I get it. Stick your toe in, feel the water, but then I want you to dive right in because
How I found my brave heart was through Daryl. He really teaches you to go within and go in through your heart and not your mind, because your heart's a lot more connected to so much more than your mind. Your mind is just so conditioned and your heart is just so open and beautiful.
you're the answer that you've been looking for. Let me teach you how to fly. What does that mean? First, love yourself, Braveheart. Let's take life in and win.
I had just lost my husband a couple of years ago. With his passing, he gave me the greatest gift to love myself. But Dr. Wolf gave me the greatest gift in understanding that.
I had a dream 3 years ago that I would live in Mexico and I would have this training center, this teaching center, this treatment center that would touch the world. Your dreams are never too big. And when they start to create a little bit of anxiety, turn them into excitement. And get excited because this is your life.
He's the first doctor that I have encountered that has truly given me the truth, and not just half truths, but the full truth. So it's been revolutionary for me in my healing process.
And this, my friend, when you take on the dream of all dreams and you realize that if you stay connected to your breath, that you can have it all. Do not let anybody take your breath away. Do not let anybody steal your dream, okay? Listen, God gave you imagination. This is your sandbox of life. Take your life back. Right now, we are teaching courses to people that have come from all over the world, and the government is saying you can't travel, you can't breathe, you can't have this, you can't come together. Yes, we will. And we will do it with unconditional love for each other. And we will learn to grow. We will not judge each other. We'll observe and see where we can support each other. But at the same time, we will hold the Braveheart line, because this is the only way that we can grow. So find your roar, because you're so much more. And learn this. You are the unconditional love that you've been looking for. You are the dream maker. I can't wait to see you. We want to become that small piece of the puzzle that brings your dream together. Thank you. Let me ask you a question. What do you think it would take to turn your life around? I can tell you right now, I learned that a long time ago, what the key was. And anybody that has been able to perfect the perfect day on an emotional, physical, and spirit level knows this. The answer is massive, personal action. That's what it's going to take for you to turn your life around. And to turn your life around, you're going to have to go within if you want to change without. And that's the bottom line. And you know, people think that they can do it like with a consultation, or maybe they can do it with a telephone call or a Band-Aid or a 911 emergency, a treatment. But understand, that's not the way it is. The day that you realize that when you master your mind is the only time you're going to master your body. Forget your life. That's always going to be just random luck until you know that you must become the master of your day. From the moment you rise until you gently close your eyes, you must be the only authority for you. And if you think that getting an hour consultation is going to do it, it's not. If you think that going for therapy is going to do it, it's not. You have to submerge yourself into what we would call the personal treatment and training. And you need to do that from anywhere from 6 days to 10 days, or you need to come for my whole life coach certification, because if you don't go in deep, you'll never make changes. They say it takes 10,000 times for you to repeat something before it becomes a prominent, dominant thought. And if you understood that 70 to 90% of all your thoughts are not yours, and they say that 70% of your thoughts are toxic, tell me they're not. Take a look at the majority of the population. 92% of the population has an autoimmune disease, which means the body is attacking itself. Before that, though, the person was attacking themselves on a subconscious, unconscious level. And that, my friend, is the bottom line, and why you must take a personal treatment and training and go deep and understand how to run your life. What that means is learning how to think, how to drink, how to eat, and knowing when somebody is mistreating you, when someone is disrespecting you, because until you honor and respect yourself, no one else is going to do it. So understand, this is your life. If you want to live your passion and purpose, then you must become the master of your mind to become the master of your body so that you can become the light for your family. So please, consider this. You've got the time and you've got the money, because you're going to change the rest of your life for the rest of your life, and that's my guarantee to you.